Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Branham with Whimsical Art Painting Parties, and I am going to be painting something fun tonight. It is a Valentine. It's two frogs and lots of little hearts, and also some red mushrooms and a lily pad of a sort. So I hope that you will join us. And if you would, let your friends know, sprinkle the love, let them know about our painting, and I hope y'all have had a good day. What have y'all been up to? I've been working all day at our camp, burning leaves and fallen tree branches. Yikes. I don't have things set up right tonight. I'm a little backwards than normal, and I'm not really sure how this is going to play out, but it just turned it wonky-jawed. All right. That helped. Anyway, we worked at our camp and cleaned up all the fallen branches from Hurricane Laura, which happened back in July, but you know, sometimes it's hard to get up there and be able to do the work and the wood be dry at the same time. So you have to hit it right, have the time to go, and have dry enough wood to burn. And we've done that for 2 days in a row, and we got a lot accomplished. We both are moaning with aches and pains, but that's okay. We got most of it done. The worst of it, well, we've still got some big, huge pine tree logs to move, but we will have to have a tractor to do that because they are extremely big. So right now I am actually drawing my pattern on. If you want to see, I'm so afraid this is going to fall apart because I'm trying to do this side horizontal view, and sometimes it just doesn't. My phone doesn't like it at all. So I have the carbon paper under here, and I'm moving it around to wherever it needs to be. And here's my little froggies. Froggy went a-courtin'. You know that song, Mike?
You what?
Froggy went a-courtin'.
Yeah. I heard that.
You heard that? Well, these are our courting frogs. We actually found a frog today at the camp when I was moving all the, this were some other logs that needed to be cleaned up and cleared out, and I was burning these great big pieces, and I moved them, and I found a tiny frog. It was about that big. And I found a bug that was black and jointed. And I know that it eats wood, but I don't remember the name of it, because they had done a great job on eating that wood that's been piled over there with the intentions of it being a campfire, but we never did it, and so it was kind of moldy and needed to be tossed. Yeah, it's fun to have, well, this one is not, I guess it's still wet it's still a little bit damp, and that pattern's not coming off. It's coming off onto the carbon paper. But I can see a little bit. So I do want to remind you before you might leave to go watch someone else. We start in 2 days to do our workshop, our shading and highlighting workshop. And I tried to put a link in on this Facebook Live, but I don't see it. Do you see a Facebook Live link, Mike? I mean a link.
Trouble finding the video.
Huh?
I'm having trouble finding the video right now.
You always get, I don't know what's wrong. Are you in Whimsical Art Painting Parties?
No.
Or are you in your own?
I was actually on mine and it came up, but it won't open the video.
Well, I don't know. Because I have it, I'm looking at myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and see if I can get it come up.
Anyway, we didn't get home until dark, and so I'm just now putting the pattern on this. If you like it and want the pattern, just drop a comment below, and we'll see if we can get you one. And if you would like to do this as a kit, and it would come with the instructions on how to paint it, and it would come with a blank and a pattern, and you can paint it yourself, but it would be written out instructions with colors and all such as that, and you would have this, access to this, to know how to paint it also. You could watch and paint with me. So those are some options that we're going to try to do. We're going to try to do some of these as kits, and you'll get this cute little Valentine in the mail, and also you get the pattern and the door hanger, the wood cutout, ready to put your pattern on and paint your stuff. Alright, let's see. I actually have a few little hearts that are, these are his little nose. I'm not sure where they are in real life, but that's where they are in Whimsical. And when your name is Whimsical, you can make it however you want, right? And then I'm not going to put on the letters, the words yet, but I just wrote Happy Valentine's Day. You could put anything you wanted. And I know what this is. I was looking at that spot and wondering, what is that? But it is part of the trunk of that. I also saw some really interesting mushrooms today growing on all those cut down trees. Alright, I'm going to set that aside and just go ahead and get started. I may have to add a few things in later, and I'll have to go back and put in the little hearts. And if y'all are watching, please share us and let others see. I see Melba's watching. Thank you, Melba. And so I'm going to start out with red. I'm going to use flag red and paint my little mushrooms. I forgot to get a tray, Mike. Mike, do you want to get me a tray, a palette?
Oh, a tray?
A palette?
Mm-hmm.
I left it somewhere. Thank you. You might could bring me a few because I may need more than one. this looks, it's kind of hard to look at it and know where things would go. So I'm going to start out with,
You painting?
I am.
Hello, friends.
My whole family's here that lives here. Bethany's here.
I'm here.
Mike's here. I'm mostly here.
What are you painting?
I am painting a mushroom right now.
It's gonna be a surprise.
A mushroom surprise.
I'm going to, I think that will,
What color are you doing the hearts?
what would you like?
Pink.
Pink? Pink hearts?
White.
I thought maybe one can be pink, one can be white, and one could be purple. What do you think? Right now I'm just filling in with red and color book painting it in, and then the class that I'm going to be teaching Thursday night is going to show us all about highlighting and how to add highlighting and shading to your painting, and it's amazing what that brings about and how much improvement it makes.
It brings it to life.
Yeah, it brings it to life. It really does.
Let's see if, there we go. Now I can know who's watching.
I think y'all can come back and turn that heater down. I turned it up,
Yeah, I got one.
and I am nice and
And this
warm.
is the coldest room in the house.
I see Kayla Marie is watching.
Maria.
Kayla Maria. How are you tonight, Kayla?
Oh, those are the top of the mushroom.
Yes, those are the caps.
Oh, I think you should do like that light blue then. You know, those colors go together. That like Key West or Cloudless or something.
Mhm.
I think you should do a blue color.
All right. Well, I'm going to have green down here, like a lily pad. I'm going to have green here.
Mm-hmm.
I can't scoot up.
Yeah.
And
And that's red too?
that's red too. I like these kinds of mushrooms. So
Mhm.
yeah, it is kind of a work in progress. If we don't like them, we can paint them white. But I do like those colors. But since I was kind of making it Valentine-y. Hey Brenda. How are you?
Hello,
How's
Miss Brenda.
things going? I haven't painted and caught you or you haven't caught us live in a little while. We just started back with a schedule after the holidays are over. We've tried to make a commitment for twice a week on Tuesday and Thursday. And
I kind of forgot today was Tuesday because I went to work today as a Monday.
yeah, that is true. Yesterday was the day off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my arms are tired. I'm telling you, we worked. I did a lot of.
Well, I can paint the basics and you can paint the other stuff.
I would be glad for you to do that because my arms are like jello. But I have moved gigantic logs and made we had 3 burn piles going,
You can't see.
and we did some heavy lifting. Hey Charlotte.
Tilt it up a little bit. Or down. There we go. I think I have it all
Is
on
that-
there.
I mean, you may have to back it up or turn it around. I don't see but one. You can turn it around.
There we
You
go.
go.
Okay.
Are you talking cloudless for your blue or Key West?
Key. Well,
Key
probably.
West would be good because it would have a little hint of greenish.
The iPad one off. Is this the red that you're doing? The flag red?
Yeah, I did flag red.
It's a little goopy.
It's what?
Goopy? But I'll shake it up.
It may be just old. I don't know how our paint gets
All
right.
right. Hey Jessica, hey Jacqueline. Welcome.
Thank you. Y'all like us, like our page, so you can watch again. Where are y'all from?
And I haven't painted
Just
in a long time. I'm not sure if I'm painting the opposite, if this part is painted at the top, or which one.
yeah, it's the other one.
Oh, I'm just steady painting the top. There we go.
I don't know how to make it reverse without showing the other wall. I'm not sure. Should I Google that?
What?
You can turn it around where it's a mirror image.
Oh,
so
nah,
it looks
it's okay.
correct.
There's no writing on it, so it's fine.
Well, there's not yet.
What are you gonna write on it?
Well, you could write Happy Thanksgiving. Okay.
I don't think we're gonna write Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Oh,
I
help
think
me,
we need
Lord.
a comedy show instead of a painting.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Let me do the.
Oh, I told y'all I was tired.
Yeah, she's tired, so I'm gonna paint a little bit. I think we're all tired. I came home and I bought. Well, I didn't buy, but there's that website that Erica had told me about. I'm gonna do the lily pads this color. And it's like a subscription, and I think it's $7 and you have access to all these different designs or whatever. So I got some new brushes for the Procreate app, and then I worked on the other brush, the leopard print brush that I had made, and it's like really good.
I'd have to go and see it.
And I got some. What is this?
That is part of the lily pad.
Is all of this green? Like all of this?
Well, you can see these little lines here. That's the whitish, creamy color of the mushroom.
So anyway, I'm talking about the designs because I'll tell them about our subscription box for the new people who are watching.
Yeah, Bethany's helped me this month with that.
I have made
2 months.
Some of the new designs that are going to be shipped out in our subscription box for February and March. And we have what's called Mantle Makeup, and it is a 3-piece wooden set that you get to either decorate your mantle or tabletop or just somewhere in your house that you normally decorate for the holidays. So in this next one that's coming up is super cute. Can I tell them what it is?
Yeah.
Or is it a secret?
Well, actually, I think for February, we may offer that you don't have to sign up. You just get a trial. I mean, you still have to pay for it, but you just get a one-time, and then if you like it, you sign up.
Yeah. So anyway, it's $27 a month, and then if you need shipping, it's $10 extra for shipping. And this month, it's going to be a truck with some hearts in the back, and you want to go grab my iPad and I'll show them, or not?
Because I do that, or you
Well,
can.
I don't think it's on. Is it on your iPad?
I don't think so.
I didn't share it with you.
I don't know. I can look.
So it's a truck that has some hearts in the back and it says "Be Mine," and then also a small, like 6-piece wooden banner that you can write on. The one that we're gonna do is gonna have the letters LOVE and then 2 extra blank ones. So a total of 6 that you can put together with like some twine or string that you might like. And then also we have, what's the other piece? Oh, it says XOX and then a heart. And those are super cute too. And the heart is going to have, I think, a floral pattern on it. And then the banner.
Is this yours or mine?
That's yours.
Is this mine?
The banner is going to be buffalo plaid. I guess I just shared Valentine's Day with you. And that's not even a Valentine one.
Okay.
But the banner is going to be buffalo plaid, so my mom is going to teach how to do that in that box. So those are the 3 pieces, even though technically it's more than 3, but it's like 3 sets of something. So it's going to be super cute. Like she said, I did the design, and I'm excited about my design. I'm going to turn the iPad back on so I can see what people are, if anybody else is watching.
What did you tap to make everything show up?
That I think.
Well, what is it? Yeah.
It's fine. Just like that. No, it's there. Hello.
There was a couple others.
Yeah, they
I'm
may
not
have
sure
left.
where they are. But I don't know.
I need a smaller brush to go in between all these little frog legs. Would you eat frog legs?
Would I eat them?
Have you ever eaten frog legs? Speaking of frogs.
I think I've tasted of them fried, but
Fried frog legs?
I've never I've never really had any other than maybe a taste.
I don't think I want to even try that.
You eat crawfish.
Yeah. But sometimes even then I can't really think about it. Same for all the fish. All the water things. I've had an alligator. I didn't really like it. It was chewy.
Yeah, I had one bite of that too.
I did not care for it.
But I do love crawfish.
I like
And
shrimp. I think I like shrimp better than crawfish.
It's not as hard to open.
Yeah. You know who has some good shrimp?
Who?
Buckets. Mostly I like their sauce that you can dip it in.
I'm not eating there in a while.
Me neither. I'm not exactly sure where all these little... My other boss, an old boss, she liked frogs. A lot. She had them all in her office.
You know who does not like frogs?
Me?
You don't like frogs?
Mm-mm. They're gross.
Aunt Martha doesn't like frogs either.
Yeah.
She will tear you up.
Over a frog?
If you come at her with a little frog,
I never knew this.
She won't.
Now I will have to find
She
a frog.
will whoop you.
I'm sure she will.
I don't dislike them.
I think they're gross. I don't like frogs or lizards. At all. I don't want to touch a lizard, but I'll let you put it on my ear.
Got your ring.
Mm-hmm.
They bite your ear.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I've never done that. I've never put a lizard on my ear. Anybody else out there ever put a lizard on their ear? And it bite down and you can
It's like an earring.
hold, it'll stay on your ear.
It's a weird earring.
No.
Kathy.
Hey, Kathy Malone.
Welcome.
Bethany's painting for me tonight. I am tired and my hands are almost shaky from raking the yard today.
This is hard to paint in between these little toes. But we'll fix it, or you will fix it after with the darker green. I feel like that's something. I don't know what that is.
That's part of her feet.
I thought it was part of. So that's a foot that it must have. These are toes.
Yeah, that's her legs.
That's a leg.
Mm-hmm. This is back feet.
That's
The
good to
hopping
me.
part.
All right, and then this is green still all the back there.
Well, not the whole thing, but
I don't know what's green. I kind of stopped painting. This is green. It is now.
well, this. See how this comes out right here? That's the white of the.
So I go green right here.
Yeah, you can bring it over to there, and just stop along there, and then it goes up in this little triangle shape. And then you see that line.
Mm-hmm. I haven't painted online in a long time. I was gonna say I haven't painted in a long time, but I painted at the parties.
Mm-hmm. We had 2 parties on Saturday, back to back, and we don't usually do the 2 a day, but we did. We hadn't had any.
What'd you say? We don't usually what?
We don't usually do 2 in one day.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. I don't know if it came out that way.
He's so tired.
And
yeah, I was about to go lay down.
one started at 11 and one started at 5, and we painted till 9.
It was fun.
And it was a great, fun time. Both groups were fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I was tired. But if anybody wants to have a party this weekend, now we know that we can
whip
make
one
one
together
in one day. We can put it together. If you can tell your people in short notice, they have to choose in a hurry by tomorrow. And it worked, and we had so much fun. One was a group from Tullis, a church, First Baptist of Tullis, and one was a bridal shower. A bachelorette party.
Party.
And it was just a fun evening all around. Fun day and evening. But Grandma was tired at the end.
Mm-hmm.
My legs were like, what are you doing? Because we were on our feet. But today I logged more steps going up and down the hill at the camp than I did walking around in the house.
I think you just didn't move your arm enough for it to capture it.
You about to drip.
Because there's no way that you didn't get enough steps. Or that few steps that day. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, I was over. I finally took it off today because it was so hot out there and it was just sticky, and I took it off and put it.
Which is why you probably missed my call.
Yeah, it is. I didn't hear it. I didn't feel it go. I was kind of scared of it wet with my, let's just say it, my sweaty arm from burning trash, burning all that stuff. It was hot. So if you're wondering what this is, it's not a ladybug. It's
Is that what you were about to say?
I don't know. I didn't get anything out. Mushrooms and lily pads and frogs and Valentine's Day.
We may just do the base coat and then
put Mama
put them on the bed, and we'll try again tomorrow.
Oh no.
Because she's not.
I'm not functioning.
Mm-mm.
On full speed.
Nope. You're
that's funny. Well,
not functioning.
You would have been amazed at the kinds
I'm
of
sure I would.
logs I rolled around today.
Which is why I'm like, what were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking it's not raining, it's dry, it's got to be done.
Hire somebody. Hire the man.
Hire you?
I'm not the man. I am a woman.
Well, I enjoyed it. I really did. Both Dad and I enjoyed working out there. It was just...
I don't mind working out there. Just that... Don't do it so much in a day. It's too much.
I did 2 days. I think that's what was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm still tired from yesterday.
Right.
Isn't that cute? Do you like it?
I don't think it's my style, but that's okay.
I don't know what your style is.
Not this, but that's okay. My style is what I designed.
And I designed some happy little frogs with hearts in their, floating between each other.
Sitting on mushrooms.
Are you really ready for me?
What is this color?
This is going to be more white, and this is going to be cream.
Okay.
So you can do the bottom part parchment. You could just do both parchment.
Yeah, I think so.
And so that's antique parchment.
You do like a makeup, how they do like this. You can see I'm not a clean painter ever, but okay. I don't think anybody cares.
If I just go bonk.
If you hear a thud, she went to sleep.
I've got a second wind.
Where?
Well, half a one. Valerie.
You hear me?
Huh? Chukas.
Chukas. I think I'm right.
Franco Chukas.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Valerie. Thank you for watching. We're painting a Valentine.
Mushroom frog land. Okay.
I saw someone asking today for some mushrooms. So
I bought black mushrooms one time off the internet.
Off the internet, and I said, "You're gonna
and
die."
Cooked with them, and it was pretty good.
She fed them to her dad, and I was like, Somebody's got to drive the ambulance if I have to take y'all.
They were really good. I don't remember what it was actually the meal, because it was like you soak the black mushrooms.
They were dried.
Yeah, and then you use the mushroom juice, I guess, and you use that to make some kind of rice. I don't know. It was Haitian. I don't really know. But it was good. Bought them off of Amazon. You can buy everything off of Amazon.
You were brave.
Yeah.
You could have been
I'm still here.
cuckoo.
think I am. Maybe that's the problem. What's the craziest things y'all have found on Amazon?
Or the craziest things you've ever eaten and cooked.
Or that too. Craziest thing I've ever eaten. I've never eaten a bug. I would say that
I've eaten a larva.
Why? Was that here or when you were in Korea?
That was Korea.
I don't think I've ever eaten.
It was a larva of something.
Like whenever we went to the that museum in New Orleans, like I think that y'all ate.
We ate something like a cricket.
Like a chocolate covered cricket. I've never even done that. I saw a girl on TikTok the other day. She had, it was like Takis, chocolate, and then like a dried tarantula, and she ate them all together.
Ew, that was like something.
That.
I had. We ate squid and octopus.
No, I've never eaten that either.
And we had some kind of little teeny tiny fish. And
I guess that's probably the weirdest thing I've had then, is like the fish eggs that are on sushi.
on sushi.
And even that, I don't really want it.
I liked the little fish, the little tiny fish. They looked like guppies. I mean, they were teeny weeny tiny.
You ate them?
Yes, and I ate them a lot. I ate them, and then somebody told me that they were fish.
You didn't know what you were eating?
I didn't see it. I mean, it was so tiny I couldn't tell until they pointed out that they had eyes, and I was like, "Well, they were good."
Did you know that people eat fish eyes?
No, I didn't know that.
Apparently, they help with memory. They're a delicacy.
That's fine. I don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't have a memory, but I don't know if I could eat.
They're a delicacy.
But those were good. I mean, everything I ate there was delicious. It was just different from what we serve here.
But you also like kimchi, don't you?
Well, like is a strong word.
It's too spicy.
It's too spicy for me. It kind of blisters my mouth. It's kind of like
allergic.
Feeling like the
burning the roof of your mouth.
I don't know. You know how when you eat a lot of sweet tarts and they kind of make the inside of your mouth.
That's how it is with me with when I eat Nerds.
Well, that's kind of how I felt after I ate kimchi. But I will tell you something with kimchi. I love kimchi pancakes. They were delicious, absolutely, because it did cut down the
heat.
But it's a different heat.
Like,
it's not heat like a red pepper or hot pepper. It's more like
acid.
Yeah, it's like an acidy.
Because that's how I am with pineapples.
Yeah, it's more like an acidic heat and like a vinegary.
All right, what color should I do the froggies?
I was going to do them in this bright green, shamrock green. We don't have frog green. This is by Anita's. Everything else I use is almost all by Apple Barrel. Occasionally I have Deco Art. I do have a few of those.
Anita comes from Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
We got this one because I think we were doing a tractor or something one time.
Yeah.
Also for Mardi Gras.
We were making a green tractor. And I thought that looked right.
Can I have the skinny brushes?
There's brushes right there.
Oh. I like these. Where did you get these brushes?
They're Hobby Lobby. It's that set that I like.
I like these.
Do you need to turn that around? Or is that close enough?
It's good because then I don't want it to be upside down for the people watching.
Yeah.
They would probably prefer to see design.
You know, mushrooms come from moldy areas.
We are having some weird topics.
So there was mushrooms out there today at the camp where my frogs were. My little frog. I found some worms. I found a frog. And
Have
I found
you ever eaten a worm?
No.
I know a boy who put a worm up his nose and pulled it out of his mouth one time.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Then I found this little black bug, and it was jointed, and it was so shiny. I don't know if it was shiny because it had been under the log.
Is it like a silverfish? That kind of shiny? Isn't that what those are called?
I know what a silverfish is. I don't know if they're shiny.
I thought silverfish were shiny.
Oh, yeah, I guess they're glossy.
Yeah.
But no, this was just... and everybody's seen them. They eat the wood from... They help to decay the tree. They help it decompose.
What? Oh, shoot, that was white. Oh, well. I'll cover it up.
What was it? A heart?
The eyeball. Oh, I covered up the hearts. I covered up everything. I didn't want to have to worry about all those little spots of detail. Because these froglets are plenty enough.
Sure you don't want a round brush, a little skinny round one? That one's doing well?
I mean, the skinny round would probably make more sense, but I'll make it work.
So, are you... Valerie, where are you from?
We are in central Louisiana.
Yeah.
We had such beautiful weather today.
Yeah, it was perfect.
This morning when I walked outside, or when I woke up this morning, I thought it was going to be cold, but when I walked outside, it was really nice.
I stayed outside pretty much from 11 o'clock till dark. And it was nice.
Wait, say that again?
I stayed outside working from about 11 in the morning till it was dark.
I got out there early.
We didn't.
I worked a long time.
We worked a long time, but we didn't start real early because we were waiting for it to warm up a little. Okay. And I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow. I am not the weather girl, so I don't promise that, but I think I saw that it was coming in on Wednesday.
Is it going to cool it off again?
I don't remember.
You think these colors look good together?
Well, I think they'll be better once all the details are in. Right now, it just looks like green and green. But once you start highlighting and shading
and once I need to do another coat of that palm leaf or whatever color that is.
it's the last specks of that color.
Yeah, we need to go to Lowe's and get it made.
Yeah, we need to make it.
Because it's a good one. And they stopped carrying it. It's my favorite green. Hello, Isabella.
Isabella Smith, how are you tonight, my sweet girl?
I can't call you Isabella, though.
I know. Are we not supposed to call you your name? Is this your alias? Or your...
It's her name.
I guess it's your middle name or something. Or maybe it's her first name.
Her first?
Yeah.
Allie, Isabella. Isabella, Allie? I don't know what order it goes.
No. Yeah. I don't know. I forget what order it goes in. Heather Doyle, thank you for watching. y'all let us know where you're from and tell us hey. And we're in Central Louisiana, and we're painting a Valentine door hanger with hearts. If anybody would like to have this one, just let us know. If you want to buy it painted, or if you want to get a pattern with instructions so that you can paint it at home, we can fix either one of those up for you. And it's going to turn out cute when the little frogs have their little hearts, and it's going to be sweet.
All their highlights and stuff. And speaking of highlights, we're going to be having, well, not we, but my mom, going to be doing a class this week. It's a $10 one-time fee, and she's going to teach all about shading and highlighting and how to kind of bring your door hangers or paintings in general to life.
Highlighting and shading makes all the difference, because right now when you look at this, there's no shading. It's all the same flatness. There's no
dimensions.
Dimension, and I love to do shading and highlighting, and I want to teach you if you are a painter or if you want to be a painter. This is a great way to get all the basic strokes. We'll do double loading a brush, we'll do shading, and we'll do highlighting. So we're going to be floating paint, and you'll learn what that means. And we're going to make some squiggly lines, little lines that would help you go around the outside of a picture to bring a border to it. Blending colors, and we're going to work on some lettering.
Oh. And I didn't know about the lettering.
Well, it's not a full lettering class, but just some tips on how I letter, and also some things that I've started doing to practice on my lettering.
Ooh.
Oh, you want me to show you what it was?
No, I'm gonna watch the class.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, of course you will.
So it's when?
It's Thursday at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, and you can sign up for $10, and all of it will be recorded, so you can watch it over and over. And I'm going to paint a little something just to give you some information and some practical experience in seeing how to use the shading and the highlighting. And that little swoosh that you make on a circle to give it that highlight, I'm going to teach you how to do that. And that's probably, that little swish is such an important brush stroke to learn. And brush strokes are muscle memory.
Practice, practice, practice.
And you practice it, and it'll stick forever. I learned these brush strokes in 1982.
Good Lord, that's a long time ago.
That was before you were born. And it has served me well. It has helped me paint anything I have tried to paint, and it's brought a lot of happiness just being able to paint. It's also been profitable. So if you're interested, I would be happy to include you in the group. I can send you a link for the registration. And if you
can they find the registration? It's on Facebook.
It's on our Whimsical Art Painting Parties on Facebook. Whimsical Art Painting Parties. Painting Parties. Whimsical, WHIMSICAL, that Whimsical Art and Painting Parties. And if you're interested in signing up, you can find the link on our Facebook business page. And we can show you some things to do with our Mantle Makeup. I can show you what we did for...
Go get my iPad. I'm going to show them the cute things that I made.
I'm falling over. Bethany likes hers better than she likes mine. Here, you can show me mine, and then I'll go get yours. And be nice.
This is the little boy running. And he has his sled, saucer sled. He's cute. And so these things, the shading right here of the lighter and the darker green and the white, and then those lines there, the white lines, are some of the things that are going to be taught in the class. Here is a little scene of two kids putting together a snowman. Next. Oh. And there's always one piece that's larger. I don't even know if I can show this one. Yeah. This is a scene of some kids playing, probably like on a hill. And they're sledding, and there's a snowman over here, and then all the outside is kind of speckledy with kind of like a snow scene. So that is what we painted, well, what my mom painted for January.
Where's your iPad?
It's on my bed, I think. I went to charge it. And so she's gonna go get my iPad so you can see what I had designed for February. I like it. It's super cute. I think it's super cute. But technically, I guess with all the things that we paint or design, you know, you can kind of style it to what fits your house. As far as like maybe the colors go or different things like that. Because what I'm painting, or what we're going to be painting for February, is blues, pink, red color scheme. But if you like a different color scheme, you can do that. Sometimes I look at Pinterest to find color palettes to go by, to know what will coordinate well. Alright.
Maybe you should look that up. Maybe we need to change some colors.
That's okay.
Drum roll.
Why is it? It's like let's see.
It's just wet.
No, it's grainy over here on the iPad, so I was seeing if it's still grainy, but it doesn't look it.
Just
I hate bananas.
I'm sorry.
But this is what we're gonna be painting for.
Maybe it's straightened up now.
Yeah, it's good now.
Sometimes you just have to move around whatever you left there.
Try to get the glare off of it. So this is what we're gonna be painting for February. The little truck, and it has a heart banner that goes across the top. And I know this is a reverse image, but it says "Be Mine," and it has some cute little hearts on the tail light. So that's what we're gonna paint. Oops, let me go. And then we're gonna do a banner, and we'll talk about how to do the buffalo plaid. So it's gonna say L-O-B-E, and sorry, it's backwards, and then a blank one, and then XOXO, or with a heart, and then on the heart is gonna be floral. So that's the color scheme for Valentine's. So, as you see, it's blue, pink, red, but if you have a different color palette that you like better, you can always switch it. But those will be the designs that we'll be sending out probably this week. So that way you'll have them in plenty of time to get them painted for Valentine's.
And if you were to join, we would also send out March
We're gonna
at the same time so that we can get a month ahead, because I don't want people to be getting their painting and not have time to finish it before it's time to move to another one. So we're going to try to readjust our schedule to where you get it well in advance the month before so that you can paint.
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing an opening one-time thing where you can join.
So technically you'll be getting 2 months.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean,
How does that work?
I'm not real sure how that's going to work. I'm not sure. But if you want to join now, you can just join and get February.
Instead of doing the whole subscription.
Yeah.
I can show we already have March subscription, Mantle Makeup already drawn up. Should I show that one too? Or save it for another day?
I think we can save it.
Okay.
You can tell them what it is.
It's super cute. The theme is Gnome Place Like Home. Is the name of the theme, I guess I could say. To give a teaser. Preview. I think painting's gonna put me to sleep.
So Bethany's learned to paint in the last few years. She wasn't
Yep.
a painter before we started doing this.
Not at all.
And she has learned how to paint, just like you can learn how to paint.
Yep.
And anybody can learn how to paint. It is brush strokes and doing blending and shading and highlighting and
All the things.
all those things. But that helps you to learn. And these are the basics of toll painting. And I learned toll painting, and these are things. We're not pure toll painters by any means, but we're
fun.
We do use some of the techniques of toll painting, T-O-L-E.
We just like to paint for fun. Not strict painters. I should have put my Facebook on mine. Should have started a watch party, but my phone is dead.
Oh, I guess it's too late now.
Alright, I think I am about to say tag you're it. After I get these.
Yeah, I know you're ready to call it a day.
What time is it?
It is 9:15.
Yep. It is almost my bedtime. And Abby's coming tomorrow. I gotta be red.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Is that what you mean?
Yep.
See, they're looking cute.
No, I need to do another coat of red. I need to get in here. And the toes.
You really just don't want to stop, do you? It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, I just see that I don't want to leave it not painted. Yeah, get to what I said I would paint. The bottom. And let you do the skilled part. The expert. Okay.
Red? Red?
No, I said red.
Oh.
I'm gonna do one more coat of red. And then it's your turn.
I wonder if it'll cover up all the red and the little circle. I mean, the hearts.
Well, if it does, you just draw some in. But I don't think it will. Red is a thin one.
Red didn't cover up that well.
No, it doesn't.
I like how you use your brush and hold it flat.
Flat and spin.
Do I sound like a preschool teacher? I like the way you're...
You just sound like how I sound at parties. If you want to make a line, that's straight. Lay your brush flat and drag.
Yeah, you don't put it up on its side. There's no control there. If you want to put some on that edge there, there's a little spot missing white. It's still white. Okay.
You can hear Dad watching Forrest Gump in there.
Yep.
Talking about shrimp boat captain. Speaking of shrimp. You know what I want tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. I want Tank's Tacos. Usually they're at Ryan's on Wednesdays.
I want some sushi. I haven't had sushi in a long time.
You don't want sushi. Alright.
But I had fun with pizza tonight. Bethany bought us a pizza for supper.
That's how I cook.
You did well.
Yeah. Alright, I'm passing the baton.
Okay.
Did you take
I'll
it?
try to be awake now.
Take the baton. Testosterone.
Do.
Alright. Good night, friends.
Good night. Alright. I'm back on the painting table. And if I can see these little white hearts. Well, actually, Bethany was saying maybe these would be cuter, but I'm going to paint over this with some white. And then go back and fill in with that green, not green, but Key West. It looks good on red. I don't know if it'll look good on that. So we'll see. It may get changed. But whatever it is, it doesn't need to be red under. I mean, it needs white under it, not red. So that it will show the color good. So I am adding some little hearts. I'm painting upside down to my normal direction so that the camera looks like the angle is right. So I'm just filling that in real quick. If y'all would share this for us, it would help spread the word about our business. So if you're watching, please click share. Sprinkle the love. That's code word for share. And I think I have one more. Let me see which one of these is the right direction. Okay. I see another heart right here. It's very hard to see the pattern sometimes when it's been painted 2 or 3 times. Alright, and then I have one more down here. And I just need to let those dry. So these little froggies are going to have lots of cute little hearts. It looks like I'm kind of, sometimes for some reason, hey Lisa, how are y'all? How's things in Tennessee? Let me see if I can figure out where these hearts are. I think one is right here. And we pretty much covered up the pattern to those. 1 and a 2. I'm kind of improvising. I'm just looking at where they are on this pattern. And then one was up here. So this is my little frog Valentine. And I'm just base coating in those little hearts. And painting them currently upside down. So I got one there. I'm going to put one here. One down here. And then one over here. All right, there is that. And I'm going to turn it back around. I know Bethany had it the other way, but I got a little bit more to do with this frog. And upside down is not the best. So he's, we're going to paint his eyes, and that'll help us get a feel for what he needs to look like. And we're just going to make big, round, googly eyes. Like you see them in the lake at night, and you can see their eyes. We're not going to be gigging one of these. These are little frog friends. So if you want to paint this with me, just using this live video, if you want to paint this, you can. I can send you the blank and the instructions, and you can refer back to this video. And you can learn to paint at home. So I can paint with you no matter where you are. If you're in Tennessee, or if you're in even Alaska. Because I do have a friend, a customer, who I send her materials to Alaska. And if you're in Alaska, it is $20 shipment, not 10. But other than that, you can take lessons with us. I just noticed that no, that's right. I was looking at something wrong. I thought my frogs were backwards, but they're not. All right, on his little body here, he's gonna have some darker circles. So I'm going to use Old Ivy. You could use any kind of, I may have to use something else too, because this one's, the oil has separated. It's good. So this is a darker green. And I'm just going to put a few little spots right there to, you know, little froggy spots. And then a few on this side. And I will go back and outline them with some black, but I'm going to add a little touch of color. Now that's a little bit much, and anytime you get too much, all you have to do is wash your paintbrush off. And it really doesn't look too bad, but make sure your brush is dried out. And just soften that little line up by going back over it. And kind of blend that into the center. And so we have always wanted to be doing some online classes, but I'm going to move my thing a little bit and see if it'll clear up the, it looks a little pixelated. I'm not sure what that word is. I think that's the right word. So I'm going to come over here. So this little froggy, now I'm going to add a few more down here on his body. But first, I need to go back and shade his body. Now, I'm going to use that same parchment that Bethany was using. And I'm just going to lay it down flat and drag it over to his feet and go around his body like that. So I'm going to smooth that out. I'm going to put a little water on my brush, wipe it off on both sides, and then brush through that so that it is, you can see the division of his front feet. And I'm going to come around his little belly here. And I'm going to stop right where his legs go up. And then I'm going to do the same thing with his, kind of the, if, I don't know, if frogs have chins, this is going to separate his face from his body. And so we're just using a little bit of white to separate. And what you want that to do is bleed or float. Float is a better word. Float into the center of your paintbrush. So you get a graded look to your white. It's not a solid hard line. It's it floats into the center of your paintbrush. Now I'm going to go back to my old ivy, and any color that's any of the darker greens will be fine. But you can see he's coming along. You can see how that's really showing up where his feet are. And I'm just trying to separate his feet from his body. I'll put a little bit more green there because there's a little bit of specks that are not covered. And he also has some of these. And one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and get just the corner of my paintbrush. If you can see on this side, I've got white on one corner. And I'm going to blend that into my brush. And I will show you how to do that on Thursday, if you want to sign up. And it will highlight his little legs and give him that definition of his little fat feet. See? Okay, now that's kind of all there is with him, except for those green, the darker green lines. I'm going to put him a little bit of highlight just to separate those two greens. That helps to separate those two greens from each other. So you put a little wash of white. So if anybody is interested, don't wait, because we need time to get you in the group, and that will all happen tomorrow, because everybody that wants to join will be in the group by tomorrow. So please sign up and I can help you with shading. It is everything to make your painting really different from a flat color book look. So now I'm going to get a little bit of black. A little bit of black just to separate where his little legs go. And put some little bits of lines here and there just to highlight how his little feet are. And also, let's go around with my round brush all the way around his eyes. And this is one thing we're going to practice in our class. And then we're going to make some little bug eyes here. Nice round. I have to let that one dry. And then kind of straightening out a little. Yeah. Yeah, he is making goo-goo eyes and his frog friend on this side. And how about we do that and that, and this will some cutie cute stuff. I'm going to put a little bit here for his nose of that same shade, and then I'm going to get a little black, thin my paint down a little. Make sure, see this little place right here? This gets wet and then it'll drip down and it'll come off of your brush onto your painting. And so make sure your metal piece is dry and it's not going to cause a little water puddle, because that's not cool. It messes up your painting and you have to wipe it off. All right, let's give him a little smile. He's all cuckoo-eyed, goo-goo-eyed about his frog friend over there. And I'm gonna put a little bit of, I'm gonna give him a little double chin. And I'm gonna go under here, outline my little froggy face. All right, and maybe his body too, because it needs a little bit of, all of this needs shading. So his little toes. All right, that little guy is all done. I'm going to go back and try to, if it's not too wet, I'm going to put some little highlights in his eyes. And he's cute as a bug's ear. Or as a speckled puppy under a red wagon, as my mom would have said. Now, she is going to be, I think she's probably the same green. This one was, I may make her a little different, but I might not. I may go back and just use this for shading. But I think I'll use this for her outline. Yeah, her little knee right here is a little bit not pointed as much as I wanted. I think this is the one. So we're just going to sharpen that a little bit by taking off a corner. Now we're going to go back over here, and we're going to mostly shade just like we did on this other fella. And this is my This is my girl frog. So here we go. We're going to put a little more water on my brush. And a little more. That's a little bit too strong. So let's wipe some of that off. And put a little bit of green. What color of green was that, Bethany? Not that one. Had to be this one. I think I just ended up with a little bit of... That's really weird. I can't... There's only 3 colors there. That's not it. We'll go back to this one. It's just wet is why it doesn't look like what I thought it would. Okay. Now, let's see if I can make these. I'm going to double load my brush. And I'm going to go around her body. The little shade of white, little highlight of white, and then I'm going to pick up just a little bit more, and I'm going to come around the other side of her body, and that will give her some definition between where her leg is and her body. And I'm going to add a little water to that. And then I'm going to go ahead and so I'm going to go ahead and add in a little white to her back legs. So I got a little thicker paint than I want, so I'm going to wash some of that off, wash my brush off, and then I'm just going to wipe through it with just a wet brush, no paint added. All right. Okay, now on this, we're just going to do that and that, and then we'll go back and shade a little bit more of the darker color just to separate where her legs are kind of bend. Like she's gonna hop. Hop, hop, hop. So I'm gonna add a little bit more shade to this. And then this arm, this part of her upper leg kind of overlaps that one, so we're just gonna put a little bit of white along here and along here, and I think this is an important part of painting. I think we got a little bit out of the a little bit more foot there than I needed. So I'm going to kind of paint in some of that. Okay. Now, I'm going to give her some eyes. She needs some eyes. And her eyes are more of an oval than a circle. And I'm kind of looking over here at my pattern. But their little eyes are different. And one thing that she has that the other one doesn't is I gave her some pretty eyelashes. So we're gonna give her some really pretty eyelashes. So we are obviously being a little whimsical. Haven't seen any eyelashes on my frogs. I don't know, possibly. Don't know if there's such thing. But in my whimsical paint parties, I can do that. Because we're whimsical. So I'm filling in. And she's got these great big beautiful eyes. So he cannot resist. And I'll just add a little bit. Oop, I didn't want that one to do that. I'll add a little more there. She might be tarantula eyes now, but if you don't like that many, you don't have to put that many. And so we're going to turn her little eyes toward his. Because she's looking over there and making his heart go pitter patter. And I think one more thing that I'm going to change and correct is right here where I'm going to make that smooth across there. I'm going to make that smooth instead of coming up all the way. And instead of smooth there, I'm going to just make those come across here. Alright, now we are going to give her a smile. And we could give her some red cheeks. I'm going to get back an outline. I'm going to try to pick up that outline from her. Whoop. I ran off of the side there a little bit. So I'm just going to wash that back in there and tap it and see if I can get it off. And so I'm going to come on around and make her little feet all around like that. And I'll make her little feet do this. And then I'm going to give her a little bit of a, let's see. All right, so this goes all the way to there. And then this just rolls along. And we're just going to put some little highlights and such there to give him some toes. And we're going to come over here, come all the way down there. And she's getting ready to hop right over to him. She might plant a great big frog kiss right on him. So if I want that like that, I'm going to go underneath that white shading. going to bring her little face all the way around to her feet. And then those kind of all come in together. So now I've got happy little frogs. The way that, so here, I don't really have any shading. So let me go ahead and, before I move to something else, I'm going to turn this back upside where you can see the upright side of it. I may have to calm down her little eyebrows. I mean eyelashes. They're a little tarantula looking. So I'm going to use some territorial beige, and I'm going to shade my little mushrooms because they don't have any shade on them. And I want them to have a little bit of they need some shade. So I'm going to highlight, give a shade underneath the mushroom like this. And then I'm going to bring that up into here like it's under there. And I'm just going to go all the way around everything with that territorial beige. And that will give a little shadow up under there. And then I'm going to do this here and just do the same technique, shading my outer part. Now this one you don't see the underside of your mushroom, so you can just drag that up. And then this one is going to have shading all around there and all around here, but the cap of it, the stem of it is going to come up all the way to the cap. And I'm just going to shade around this outer part of this red thing. And I think that will be enough. So I gave them a little bit of shading. This one has a little bubble. If you get little bubbles of water or little puddles of water, it's best to move them because it'll take too long for them to dry. What else do I need? I need to go back and paint the rest of my little heart. You could paint those with roses. That would be fun. But I did not. And if you would like, you can make some little streaks. You know how they have those little folds inside you can do that on this one and just make little wispy marks to give that same look of the inside, underneath side of the mushroom. I'm going to try this blue that Bethany was talking about, and it may come back and be purple and pinks and white. But I do like combining these colors. They're really pretty. So that's something to try. What do y'all think? Anybody still watching? It is late. I am tired. One day I'll try to video our camp inside. There is no Wi-Fi at our camp, so I don't have good service at all. which we don't really care because we go there to get away. But it'd be nice to be able to video inside the house. It has a metal roof, and I guess that stops it. So I'm just outlining these little, covering in these with the blue. I hope y'all like this little guy. You're really gonna like what's next, where it really comes together as a Valentine idea. The reason the white is put on first is it would just show through, I think, too much. And it helps the color stay true. Okay, a few more. So if your grandkids like frogs and you want to do a little Valentine for their room, this would be a nice one. We can put their name on the bottom, or the Happy Valentine. Probably, if you want it to not just be seasonal, and you write their name, that would be something that wouldn't be, okay, Valentine's over, let's get rid of it. One more. One more little heart. Yep. It's a wayward heart. He jumped off the page. See if I can take care of him, get him evened up. Okay, so there's the little hearts. And then I've got to turn it around because I have a lot of hearts that are going to go on the actual page. I think before I move on and put those, I'm going to add some shade colors to here where the little frogs are sitting. And just shade a little bit around their legs so that they look like they're sitting on something. I don't like to paint something and leave it floating. So it's always good to put paint underneath, just a shade color, because you don't want your little frogs to just be floating. They have to be grounded, so you need to put something underneath to ground all of your things. Like even these little mushrooms need a little grounding, and these here too. I wouldn't say that bottle of paint is the best because it's kind of gotten thick. And So I'm just running a little bit here and there. And I want to go back with the cream, the antique parchment, and go around and around my lily pad. Or grass, whatever you want to call this. It could be grass. I guess it's not a true lily pad. It could be just a patch of grass. And then I've got a little bit up here. And I don't want to mess up my little frog eyelashes. So if you have a puddle of water, go back and work that out. Just drag it until it spreads nice and thin. And the idea is that it would blend into the center of your paintbrush, so that when you shade it, it actually runs into the center of your paintbrush. So I usually wipe it off twice. And I think I've got that. Okay. And I don't want to, here. All right, now the last part is making little bitty hearts. So first of all, we're going to put a little heart on the frog fella, and we'll make him a good size little heart. It looks like I'm going to have to go back and put some white. So we've got about 5 of these little hearts on here. And they're kind of floating in the air. Imagine. They're floating in the air. And they're floating over to his girlfriend. Hey, Karen. Hey, Bethany. So then we're going to put a little patch of hearts up there. And let's see, I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just along here. And I'm just freehanding those. And then about 4 down to here. And maybe 1 here. And then 1 more right in here. And then we're going to start up toward her little heart. And it's going to go over. He is croaking her song and filling her mind with all his little heart. And we can make one more come across here. And one more over here. I didn't give her her little nose like I gave him a nose. She needs a little nose too, so she can breathe. So we'll leave that there, and then we'll come back and make little red hearts in these. Let's see. Okay, I was using flag red. And I didn't see how, I'll show you the difference in putting a little bit of white under that red. Like you can't see that one on the green. It doesn't show well. That one's still too wet. But I'm just making little bitty hearts. And they're floating across. Yeah, that one got a little off. Let me see if I can y'all see the little floating hearts? One over to his little friend. I'm kind of skipping over those that still have wet white paint on them. So maybe this is her Prince Charming. And sometimes you have to stop and wash your paintbrush because it gets full and gunky. And you have to wet it, wash it, and start back again. And they just, it's smoother then. You don't have little globs hanging. Alright, one more up here that was wet. And I'm going to see if I can get it there now. Alright, two more. I was going to put a little bit of blush on her, but I don't think I can. I think if I did, I would mess up what I have. I'm going to outline her little nostrils like that. And I think I'll put a little highlight in all of my, and this is the swish that you can learn in our workshop tomorrow. I mean, not, I'm sorry, it's Thursday. 1/21/21. But you need to look on our Facebook page and sign up right now, because tomorrow is the last day that we'll be putting people in our group. So don't forget, and I do hope you'll join, because it really will improve your your skills in painting. Alright, I'm going to just make some little swirly lines here. You'll learn that in this brush strokes class. And it will serve you well. I promise. So you could probably add some dots. Sometimes I like to add little, not that big a dot, but little dots along the way where maybe I didn't put the thing didn't join, and I just like to fill in that space with some dots. And never hurts to add a little white. So, oop, it does hurt to add red. Where did that come from? My gracious. And so you wet your paintbrush and then you scoop it off and try to get it off before it gets stuck. Alright, let me clean my brush because I have red paint in my white paint. That wasn't cool. So I just wanted to put a few of these that's probably all. And I'm going to run back over here to this blue part. And I'm going to add another little coat just to make sure that I got a good coat of paint on them. And everything is nice and smooth and neat. So I'm just checking to see if my heart comes to a point, and if it doesn't, I'm smoothing that out. But mostly I'm just trying to put a second coat. What do y'all think? Anybody? Y'all like it? Would it be a nice Valentine? See, that one's showing some red. And so, go back and fill that one in. If you want this pattern, it will be for sale. If you want to order this with instructions to paint it, we can do that and set you up with, you can watch this video and it will have written instructions for you to paint it with. So you can also, you could buy it for a child to paint. There are several details. I wouldn't say a young child, but a 12-year-old or a 8-year-old, somewhere in that area, depending on their ability. Some kids can paint and they paint beautifully. And then I'm going to just make little commas in my hearts. And sometimes I do them the other way, but upside down, It's all I can do. I usually put them more than one side. I think he's cute. I like it. What do y'all think? Anybody? Bethany, you like it? See, this little heart just is going pitter patter for the little frog girl across the way. I am going to add in some more black shade, main lines. These are just lines. And I'll have to let that dry a little, but I'm going to need to outline. I'm going to need to put a shade across here. And I don't think I can, I don't know, I'll give it a shot. So I can do it now. I'm going to shade up and over. And right up. I may have to go back here and add some red over that heart, because it is, this heart is behind this one. Okay, let me see what, my paint water's dirty. Alright. Now, I guess I can go all the way around this one because you can see the whole entire thing. So I'm just shading a highlight of shade of the highlights all the way around that one. And then I think I'm going to get my flamenco red, and I'm going to put a little bit of shadow behind this one so you can see the depth of it. I don't really want to get it in my paint. I don't want to get it on my heart, but I do want to go ahead and try to do that. So I think that's all I want to do to this one. And then there might be another spot right here that needs a little, it needs to show a cap. Hey Debbie, you like my Valentine? I picked up some red again. Let me see if I can get that little red streak out of there. I don't want that. All right. I don't know if there's any more I want to do to them. Let me raise this camera up and I'll hold it up for you to see. Hello everybody. I've been painting with my camera down. So here they are. And they're little hearts. His little hearts are just singing over to his little girlfriend, singing, hello, happy Valentine's. There is I do have the words on this pattern for Happy Valentine's Day, but my paint's wet, and if I put that on there right now, I'm going to have a mess. So she made it look cute. Well, thank you, Boo. I'm glad you liked it because I wasn't sure what you would think. I see another little bit. I'm going to turn it back out and see if I can. I'm going to shade. What was I going to shade? I was going to come around their little toes with some white highlights. And around their legs. To give them a rounded, well, that one already has it, but that one kind of lost his shade. And this is an original, so I'm not going by anybody's anything. It's mine. So, yeah, that's one thing I wanted to do, is make her little self round, nice and round. I'm gonna outline these little things a little. Okay. Again, I was taught to have something for your, if you have an object in your picture, you should have somewhere for it to rest, not just float. So that's the point of putting that there. And I'm just gonna put a few little curlies around here. Maybe that. I love shading anyway. So there's nothing around this. And I'm going to outline around that. And I'm going to outline around here. And make that have a rounded look. And make her little leg have a thing. Alright, it could go on for the whole night. I just can't quit when I start doing this. It's like there's just so many things you can highlight. I forgot this little fella's. I didn't get his toe. So, there we go. Alright, I think I'll quit. So, here we go again. I'm going to raise it up. Y'all, hang on. Alright. So here's my little froggy Valentine. And there's the little frogs, and he's got little hearts sent right over to his sweetheart. And then there's the little, and so I don't know, maybe we'll just call this grass and not a lily pad, but whatever you want to call it is great. So that's all I have tonight. Please join us if you are interested in our shading and highlighting workshop. We're doing that on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. and it'll be about an hour and a half. If you miss that night, then you can watch it on live. I mean, on a recorded. It'll be recorded and saved, and you can watch it again. Y'all have a great night, and I'll see you hopefully Thursday. Good night. Okay, I'm sorry. This thing is upside down from what it normally is. Let's